The South African Local Government Association, that's Salga, in KwaZulu-Natal, is calling on Police Minister Bheki Cele to intervene in the scourge of political killings. The province has seen a rise in such killings. Salga says perpetrators often get away with it. That's despite a police task team being established to investigate political killings. For more on this now, we're joined by Thamsanqa Ntuli, he's the Chairperson of Salga in KZN, and he joins us from Richards Bay. So thank you so much for your time. It was just last month, I believe, that Salga released data that you had collated based on information and data you've collected since the local government elections in November last year. Up until the 12th of September, there were 48 incidents relating to attacks on councillors and municipal officials. And that was in the Eastern Cape and in all the provinces, barring the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal. And I remember your organisation coming out very strongly representing this information as really being an alarm that this is only going to get worse. It's now a month since you've released that information, and I'm assuming the figures or the information that you've gathered in or seeing in places like KZN specifically, which has always been a hotspot, is going from bad to worse.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon to your viewers. In fact, we had the Provincial Members Assembly at Salga in the province of KwaZulu-Natal last Thursday and Friday, where we had this topic on the table, and that we have been making a call that councillors and officials now, which is a new thing, who are also a victim, they are assassinated. And in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, on average, one councillor per month is assassinated. And our concern is that the police, they've not been able, in fact, to arrest the perpetrators. And for some cases, you'll hear that they are following some evidence, and cases are never resolved. And in other instances, they will take the cases to the court, and the magistrate will say the evidence is not sufficient for conviction. And we believe that the Minister of Police, Honorable Bheki Cele, has a duty to empower the police so that when they do investigations, that will be brought before the table in the court of law. The evidence, in fact, will be authentic and will be enabling the court to convict the perpetrators. But in the main, even the issue of investigations, I think something has to be done because we are seeing most of the cases unresolved with no arrest being made, and you only hear that something is being followed up until such information disappears. And then when we met at Salga in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, in the Provincial Members Assembly, where all 54 municipalities gathered with mayors, speakers, CFOs, and municipal managers, we said it's unfortunate that we are faced with such. And number two, the issue of the tools of trade for the councillors, which says a councillor must apply for security when he's receiving threats. And when doing so, or after doing so, it takes decades before, that's what we've been saying now and again, that it takes decades before a threat analysis is completed by the SAPS. As a result, you'll find that along the way, a councillor becomes a victim of assassination. And for the municipal managers now, since they are key on the issues of awarding tenders, we are also now seeing a situation where they are being threatened, where there are actually attempts to assassinate them. And in our discussion in the Provincial Members Assembly of KwaZulu-Natal, Salga, we said that there must be also a consideration that for the critical work they do, the nature of their work also warrants that they must be considered for what is made as a provision for the councillors.
Now, this is a very complex matter. You have called on a harsher approach to perpetrators. There's this police task team established to investigate the political killing. So there's the law enforcement side of it. But this is also very much a political issue as well. Just a few weeks ago, I spoke to you for you to give your reaction to the news coming that Cabinet has supported the call for an end to be brought to so-called cadre deployment. Do you believe that a lack of political will has perhaps had an impact on the effectiveness of how law enforcement has been able to broach this very serious issue?
Well, our view is that the police are doing something, but we believe they need to be, in fact, more developed or empowered in terms of the expertise of doing such investigations, because we have been hearing, because even the Honourable Minister Bheki Cele is quite aware that this is taking place. He himself has reflected that he's worried about it and making a call that something must be done or something, or may promise that something would be done, task teams being formed, but this is not actually stopping. And then we believe he must take it serious now and not only talk about it and do something so as to display that the actually political will is spot on in terms of responding to the challenges, which is the crime against the councillors and the municipal officials.
The president of Salga, not so long ago, made a very strong statement saying that political killings of municipal councillors and officials represents a direct attack on our hard-won democracy. Do you think there's enough alarm about how serious this situation is?
We don't think so. I don't think sufficient discussions are there, even in different communities, to ensure that the communities understand who the councillors are to them and what is the meaning of having a councillor to their life, so that they also become protectors. But we also understand that when you look at the crime statistics in our province and the country at large, it shows that we seem to be living in a society which is lawlessness. And I think when people, they are unable to face the consequences of their conduct, it's not easy to stop this action. In fact, it is indeed an attack to our democracy, because councillors, they are elected democratically by the community. And then if ever the reason could be someone who also see himself or herself as the next councillor after a councillor is assassinated, then it is an attack to our democracy.
Just finally, before I let you go, we've got the big ANC elective conference coming up in December. We've got then a big general election nationally coming up a while after that. What is your biggest fear as we head into these rather tense, what has historically been rather tense times in the country, and especially in provinces like KwaZulu-Natal?
As Salga in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, for any organization which might have a potential to be in government, we always pray that we get leadership that will understand the fate of local government. Hence, one has been calling for the review of the manner in which a local government is being actually resourced to enable it to be able to provide services to the people, lamenting on the realities that leaky money is actually brought down to local government, so as to even assist the development of our economy. You know, there is quite a very important theory, which to me, I believe if it can be taken into cognizance, will make things practical and will change the challenges that we were faced with as the province and the country, that if more money could be brought to local government so that they support the emerging entrepreneurs, small businesses that are emerging, emerging farmers, all those who are actually participating in the economy at a level of the municipalities. In fact, we may see more job opportunities being created. We may see the economy of our country, in fact, recovering. Hence, we as Salga in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, we are saying anyone who will accept the interest of local government, in fact, because policies that will inform what will take place thereafter, in fact, will inform whether the challenges that we're faced with as a local government, there is any hope, in fact, that there may be a resolve anytime soon. That is only what one can pray for.